Arkan, Shalom, Shalom, Israel, Shalom, to the 12 tribes, Yashala, giving the course, all honor, glory, praise unto Yahweh, by Shema Mashak Yahweh Shah, that's all praises, honor, and glorification unto the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah. It's Brother Yashala coming back to y'all yet another video through the Spirit and power of Yahweh, by Shema Mashak Wabalak Yahweh Shah, and this is like a 5-minute meal, not going to be long-winded, but basically this is going into what, right? Great travail is set for every man, right? So I'm gonna kick it off with actually let me go to Genesis first, right? Let's go to Genesis chapter 3, right? And let's start at verse 17. It says what? And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I have commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground, for out of it thou wast taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. So great travail is set for every man. You know, ever since Adam sinned, the first, the chosen Adam that we read about in Genesis, ever since he went off and sinned, guess what? The Lord put a curse upon so-called mankind. You know what I'm saying? A curse upon men, and even much more upon the nation of Israel. And so whenever we want to get something in this world, whenever you want to get something and achieve something, we have to put forth great labor to get it. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Lord is going into, right? Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread. You see that? So the Lord said you're going to eat bread in the sweat of your face. You want to get some bread? Well, guess what? You're going to eat it in the sweat of your face. You know what I'm saying? You're going to eat it, after you have done a ton of work. That's what the Lord said. That's what He ordained in His life, right? Even in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1, right? It says what? For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious. So even the wicked would sometimes even say that, their life is short and it's tedious. They understand that as well. You know what I'm saying? They understand that this life that we live in right now is tedious. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and even much more of us in this truth, man. We have the double amount of work. Right, because even the people, the people in the world, Israel in the world, guess what? They have to go to work every day, just like us. They got to go to work every day, you know what I'm saying? And they whenever they get a day off, they might go into sin. You know what I'm saying? They go into sin, or lapse into sin, and they might even prosper. But nevertheless, they still have that yoke upon them, right? Because guess what? Going back even to the curses, we have a great yoke upon us because we sin against Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. But even much more so in this truth, it's a tedious life, man. Because we not only have to deal with Esau and go to work, but we also have to work for Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which shouldn't be tedious unto us, but it is physical work that we have to put forth, that we do actually have to put forth. So it's a great and tedious work that we have to be putting forth in these last days, and the Lord has ordained for us to go into that labor and to work and to labor with our own hands. I'm gonna end it off with this precept, Acts chapter 20, right? Acts chapter 20 and verse right. I'm gonna go to verse 30, right? Let me see, right? That these gone, right here, verse 34. Yea, ye yourselves know that these hands have ministered unto my necessities and to them that were with me. So this is Paul talking. He says that these hands, talking about his hands, have ministered unto my necessity. You see that? These hands. So he had to work literally with his own hands and do things, through laboring. And that's the only way we're going to get the kingdom of heaven. That's the only way we're going to get anything in this world. We have to work for it, right? If you want to get a 4-minute mile, you have to work towards it. You know what I'm saying? Not just going to wake up one day and then just, your fastest mile is a 10-minute mile. You just drop from 10 minutes to then 4 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Just out of nowhere. It's not going to happen like that, right? Now, the Lord can do all things, but it's not going to happen like that because the Lord set it up to where if you want something in this world, you have to work for it, right? That even goes back to 2 Ezra chapter 7, right? Verses 1 on down. With that, I'd like to give all honor and praise unto Yahweh. Lord willing, this is edifying. Brother God, Shalom.